Hey guys, Coach Parker here from the TAC Performance Center. This week in the mobility series, we're going to run you through a few different ankle mobilizations. So the first two are actually going to be more biased towards ankle impingement. The other three, just good for general ankle range of motion, although these two shouldn't be discounted for ankle range of motion as well. These two are just more specifically for impingement, but I still use these for my general warm-up. So let's start at the top, a downward distraction with a band. Hop over here and get right into it. So guys, before we get into the mobilizations, it's important to know whether or not one mobilization made a difference versus another. So you should always test and retest. And a good way to do that is just with the knee to wall test. I've read 5 inches away from the wall, you should be able to get your knee to touch the wall with keeping the heels on the ground. 2 fists, roughly 5 inches. The other way to do it, the second one, lining the feet up, driving both knees forward, keeping the heels on the ground. And what you're testing here is the back knee. So how far forward does that knee get in relation to that front leg? So test it before you mobilize, test it after you mobilize, and then again, the other side, just switch the feet, and you're looking for the relationship of that back knee to the front foot. How far forward does it get while you're keeping the heels down the whole time? All right, let's get going. Okay guys, the first one, downward distraction with a band. And the first thing you're gonna do, get a band, anchor it low to the wall. You'll see why in a second. Easier to kick off your shoes, and you're actually just gonna wanna get this band right on the skin. So, band yourself up, and you want the band to be right on the top of the foot. The reason for that is when we're trying to clear impingement, it's actually the top bone of the foot, the talus, that's actually driven up, and when you're trying to translate forward, the tibia is getting blocked by the talus. So to try to clear that, we're actually going to be distracting down and laterally, trying to get that talus back down into a better position. So the way we do that, get the band on the top of the foot, ideally something with a lot of resistance. Then we're going to drive forward and all the way back. So we're trying to work the position into dorsiflexion and plantar flexion as well. So the relationship needs to be worked both ways. Spend about a minute per foot here, and then repeat that 2 times. That's if you're dealing with impingement. And it's worth discussing that impingement, when you're trying to go forward, it'll feel like you're just hitting a wall and your knees can't go forward anymore. So if you're not dealing with impingement, I would just spend about 30 seconds per side, just making sure the talus is still in a good position and you're working on that dorsi and plantar flexion. Next one, well, come on out of there, be right back. So guys, for this next one, we're going to be using a double lacrosse ball, and we're going to be distracting, which basically means we're blocking a bone in one position and then trying to influence everything else around it. So in this case, we're going to be blocking the tibia and the fibula, and then we're going to be trying to work the calcaneus, the heel bone, back and down. So what that's doing is kind of influencing the talus, again, just from a different position. So again, you're going to need a box. You can do this on the arm of a couch or anywhere. You can basically hang your foot off the edge in case you don't have rogue boxes laying around your house. I don't know why you wouldn't, but just in case, if you're gonna throw it out there. And then you line up the lacrosse ball right in the crease of your ankle. So what that's doing is blocking the shin bones, and then you can see my dog's been chewing my socks. Thanks, Max. And then you're gonna influence the heel back and down. So what you're gonna feel is the lacrosse ball's driving into the front of that ankle joint as you push back. Just try to get a little bit more range with each drive, and do about 45 seconds on each ankle. So that 45-second prescription, that's probably good if you're just trying to work on general range of motion in your ankles. So I would do this just as a general warm-up real quick if my ankles are feeling tight. But if you are dealing with an issue of impingement, spend a little bit more time there. I'd probably do a minute per side, and then I'd probably repeat that 2 or 3 times until I really felt like I've cleared that impingement. Next one, we're gonna be talking anterior distraction. Again, we're using a band. So I'm gonna get the box out of the way and I'll show you what that looks like. All right guys, the next one, we're doing anterior distraction. Again, we're using a band. So you're gonna keep the band anchored pretty low, walk yourself out until you're under a lot of tension. And then you want that band to be really low around the ankle. Again, you need it to be below the ankle joint, and then you're just gonna be working forward and back from dorsiflexion to plantar flexion. And it's kind of strange, when I first did this one, I thought because the band is pulling to the anterior, I thought I'd feel it a lot more as I'm going into dorsiflexion. I actually feel most of the benefits from this one as I lean back into plantar flexion. So work back and forth. So how long do you spend here? Well, again, you're keeping that band anchored really low around the ankle, and if going forward into dorsiflexion and back into plantar flexion is 1 rep, you're gonna do about 30 reps there. Hit 30 per side. And now we're into the more general range of motion stuff. Well, the first 2 were really trying to clear impingement of the ankle. This is just a good general warm up. And if you're just spending some time working on the ankles, this is probably where I would start. All right guys, next one, you're gonna be doing a banded squat. So again, I'm keeping the band anchored pretty low, getting myself into my bottom position, and then with this really strong band, I can spend some time back here working side to side without worrying about my balance. So if the first 3 mobilizations, we're working kind of on the lateral, or working on the forward and back translation, what we're doing now is working on the lateral glide of the ankles. So we're trying to work the range of motion side to side. If you really want to bias that, pistol out onto 1 foot, other leg's just kind of there for balance, and then I really just try to drive my knee as far out as I can while keeping the foot facing forward. Come back to center, switch, and I'll probably spend about 3 minutes here total, just kind of working back and forth side to side. You can change the width of your feet as you go side to side, go really narrow, again, focus on driving those knees out. You can go wide, warm up the hips while you're down here as well. A lot of benefits here, spend about 3 minutes. And then we're on to the last mobilization. Okay guys, last one. We're actually just trying to stretch the entire system from the toes all the way up. So how we're gonna do that, come into a kneeling position. Sit your butt down to your ankles, lean back. For some people, this kneeling position might be enough to feel stretch through the front of their foot. Others, if you have decent range of motion, drive yourself up, knees up, drive those knees up as high as you can. 3 or 4 seconds and come back down. Just keep trying to hit that end range, get the big stretch through the front of your ankle, through the front of the foot, and then just reload it back. Another 3 or 4 seconds, come back down, reset yourself. Work through that for about 2 minutes total. This is just a good global stretch for the entire system. So we're just trying to lengthen it, hit that end range, then come back down and reset yourself. All right guys, so here it is, your basic ankle mobilization checklist. Downward distraction with a band, 30 seconds per side. Go a little bit longer if you're working on an impingement issue. If you're just looking for a general mobilization, 30 seconds per side should be plenty. Maybe repeat it once or twice if you don't feel anything after the first go around. Double lacrosse ball distraction. Again, this is more focus on ankle impingement, but it's good for general mobilizations as well. 45 seconds to a minute per side. If you're dealing with impingement, go with a longer duration. Anterior distraction with the band, front and back, working through dorsiflexion and plantar flexion, that's 1 rep. Do about 30 per ankle there. So the banded pistol lunge, 3 minutes total. That's one of my favorite mobilizations. Pre-workout, post-workout, general mobilization, general range of motion, one of my favorites. Spend some time down there. And then the kneeling anterior stretch, about 2 minutes total. You're staying on both ankles the whole time, pretty symmetrical. Just coming in and out of that end range. Drive up until you feel that big global stretch for about 3 or 4 seconds. Come back down, reset yourself. Once you hit 2 minutes total, you're done. Try all of these, see which ones you like, use them all, maybe only use one of them, but see what works for you. Always test, retest, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.